Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood. As we finish up this very special series, talking It Came from Outer Space Part 3, talking some creatures out there in the unknown vassal of time and space. Alright, we're talking about creatures that will suck your face, impregnate you, burst out an alien figure, and have acid for blood except at the end.
Right.
Because we are finishing up this month with arguably probably the most famous sci-fi alien stories ever told, because we are exploring the world of the corporation. We are exploring the world of hive minds. We're exploring the world of a badass chick named Ripley beating on the queen bee of the aliens, because we are talking about aliens. All right.
Finally.
James Kline, J.H. Alison, what's happening, Alison? How was your time at the Weyland Corporation, going on a mission to supposedly exterminate some alien life form creatures, but it was a swerve like it is on every movie, where they just want to take it and, hive mind it themselves? How's that going for you? Were you the swerver, or were you the person actually trying to battle the aliens?
No, I was actually trying to battle the aliens, but I'm kind of for the aliens personally. I don't really want to battle them at all. But yeah, it's good, and it was always good watching this movie, and it's good to be back because we kind of missed a week.
Yeah, we did
due to weirdness and family stuff. But yeah, but yeah, it's good. It's been great.
Yeah. So we're a little late pushing this one out, but that's fine. We'll tell you what we all got going on in the month of July. All right. But this one, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, obviously this one was a big leap from the first one, of the pace of the film and how it was kind of perceived. This came out around 1986. So we have a pretty good amount of distance between the first film and this film. And I think with this one, they were just looking to do like more. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have more aliens, more action. It's a lot different of a pace that they were looking for compared to the first one. And there's reasons behind that, like we'll talk about here. But I thought this one was always like, I think a lot of people like go to this one has like their ultimate alien movie. Just because there's like so much on there. There's a lot more of the story being told. There's a lot more aliens. We got the queen bee. You know what I mean? Like, the original one is more of like the classic one, like that slow burn, that slow creepy, you know what I mean, out and lost in space kind of movie. This one is like your copied action film being out there in space. You know what I mean?
Yes. So so it's a completely different kind of movie. So like, we were going to talk about Alien a little bit. So like, Alien is more like like you were saying, it's like a slow burn type.
Yeah.
It's a horror film, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's suspenseful. This is more of like just a straight out action movie. So they're completely different kinds of things.
Yeah. Because when Ripley Scott was doing the Alien movie, it was more of a slow paced kind of like horror, slow burn film. You know what I mean? Showing what happens when the crew gets stranded. You have a rogue robot. You know what I mean? Trying to do an experiment on there. Nobody really know. And you kind of had Ripley at the end kind of being like the lone survivor,
Yeah.
And this one picks up where it's just more of it's like the aftermath of that, but hers, like, she's been such in cryo chamber or whatever for like so many years. And she's like waking up to like everything's brand new. And it's more of like based on more military stuff, more colonization stuff. There's just more to it, in this one than the first one was. But I would say the only thing about Aliens compared to Alien that is definitely the slow pace. Cause this one's action packed. It's like boom, 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 boom. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's pretty fun stuff though. But yeah.
And in the first movie, you barely saw the alien at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was kind of like a slow pace because this one was, they kind of just got to the area. All right. And then the aliens were already kind of like formed a little bit. Like they were already kind of hive mind and they're just kind of going there to exterminate them. But let's see what we got over here. There's a lot to talk about. So let's get right into all the fun details about why this alien movie was made in the first place.
Yes.
All right. And I thought this is pretty interesting. I'm going to get your take on this, Alison. So apparently, Fox didn't think there was much of a story to be told after Alien, which is crazy to think about because of how many freaking ripoffs we got after Alien came out.
Well, yeah, I kind of see what they're saying. Like, if we had never seen this movie, like, you know, the first movie really seems like it has a very, very definite ending.
Yeah.
You know, like, so where are we going to go after this? So, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Also, I mean, the box office did really well for Alien, and I'm really kind of surprised that they took this long to try to make a sequel out of it, to be honest with you. Even though you're saying they didn't really see that there was much story, but it did really well, apparently.
Yeah. So here's what some of the development was. All right. So there was some talk about making an immediate sequel after the huge success of the original Alien. But the production company, Brandywine Productions, struggled to convince 20th Century Fox to make it. All right. So it says studio president Alan Ladd was supportive of the project but left Fox to found the Ladd Company, and his replacement, Norman Levy, was concerned about the cost of producing an Alien 2. All right. And some of the ideas, though, were like obviously bounced around and they didn't do it. One of them was to impregnate the cat. All right. And have the cat alien creature deal. And then the other one, which is technically what they did in Romulus, was to see what happened with the missing ship. All right. But those two ideas basically got scrapped. All right. So it says Fox executives believe Alien's success was a fluke. It was just a fluke there, brother. All right. No, people don't like them sci-fi alien stuff. All right, and that it had not generated enough profit or audience interested in warranting a sequel. Really, I feel like everything now gets a sequel. Like if you do like minor okay, you could just get a sequel.
Well, I mean, supposedly 20th Century Fox declared it a loss.
Yeah.
Even though it made $100 million on like a $10 million budget, they still considered it a loss somehow.
They need that ET number, brother.
I know. It's got to make his ET numbers.
All right, you're not big enough of a draw. All right, you didn't put an ass every 18 inches.
No, you're not you're not main eventing this one.
Yeah. So the progress was further slowed when Gere and Brandywine co-founder Walter Hill and Gordon Carl sued Fox for unpaid profits from Alien. All right. Using Hollywood accounting methods, Fox had declared Alien a financial loss. Like you're saying, in spite of making $100 million against a $11 million budget. And it says Brandywine's lawsuit was settled to early 1983. The results being that Fox would finance the development of Alien 2, but was not required to distribute the film. So they would finance it, but they wouldn't distribute it. So Levis eventually replaced John Wiz, was represented to a sequel. Although other executives remained non-committal, Gere's development executive Larry Winston began looking for a screenplay by mid-1983. All right, so basically Wilson came across a script for the in-development science fiction film, The Terminator.
Wow, okay.
Yes. Written by James Cameron. So there was a couple reasons why James Cameron got this role. All right. And we talked a little bit about this on the Galaxy of Terror show we did a couple weeks back. Basically, James Cameron was more of like a set designer, production set designer. All right. Apparently, he did have a directing credit to him, which is Piranha 2.
Piranha 2, yeah.
Which is supposed to suck ass, which I've never seen.
Well, I mean, it's like one of those things where if you like bad movies, it's a good movie.
There you go. It's a bad good movie.
They fly.
Yeah. So obviously, he was in this really big expansion to kind of build his career back. So obviously, he was writing The Terminator, all right? And he also helped co-write some of the effects along Sylvester Stallone's Rambo 2.
Well, yeah, so kind of. So Cameron, you got to consider that Cameron wasn't known as a director at this time.
Yeah.
He had directed Piranha 2, but that's only because Roger Corman just hired him to do it after he worked on the effects on Galaxy of Terror and Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
But he was a screenwriter. Like, he was kind of making a name as a screenwriter.
Yeah.
And he was writing Rambo First Blood Part 2. And this movie at the same time. But 2 years before this, he had written and directed Terminator.
Yeah.
Although Terminator wasn't out yet when he was hired to direct this. When he was hired to write this. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
Terminator came out the year after because they were looking for writers in 1983. This one came out. Terminator came out in 1984.
Terminator's 84, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wilson was convinced to show the script from The Terminator to Gilder, Hill, and Carl. In November 1983, Cameron submitted a 42-page film treatment for Alien 2, written in 3 days based on Gilder and Hill's suggestion of Ripley and soldiers. Because they wanted to make the Alien sequel, obviously had the Ripley character in it, plus they wanted to be surrounded by the military as well. All right? Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I don't know if you watched any of it. On AMC Plus, there's a 5-hour documentary on the making of this movie.
Wow.
Which I didn't watch all of it, but he did talk about how when he was given a 2-sentence description of what this movie was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
And the 2-sentence description said, humans have colonized the planet that the alien came from. They send space marines, and then some bullshit happens.
Yeah. There you go.
That's literally what they gave him, and then he worked on that.
Yeah. This year had mixed reactions. One exhibit calling it a constant stream of horror without character development. Negotiations to sell the sequel rights to Rambo developers Mario Kassar and Andrew G. failed and project stalled again. All right. So it says, by July 1984, Lawrence Gordon had replaced with few projects in development. Gordon looked at sequels to Fox's existing properties and came across Alien 2 treatment. He said he was surprised that no one had pushed for it. Production of The Terminator was delayed for 9 months because Arnold Schwarzenegger was the contractual obligation to film the Conan the Destroyer, 1984. Another great movie.
Yes.
So Cameron used time to develop his treatment, expanding into a 90-page. He drew ideas from Mother. All right. One of his stories concepts about an alien on a space station involving a power-loaded suit. Because of his low expectations for The Terminator, Cameron had spent much of his free time during its production developing and trying out ideas for Alien 2. And apparently,
because I was going to say that Mother film was a different movie altogether. That was an abandoned treatment that he used partially for this movie.
Yeah, because obviously we got like the Mother Queen of the Aliens, and it also had
the Loader.
Yeah, the Loader too, and also too obviously there was a lot of like Mother treatments with Rhea in there as well. Ripley. Yeah. This script was better received by Fox executives Gordon, but Cameron also wanted to direct the project. Cameron was relatively new director, his only directing credits being, like we said, Piranha 2, a low-budget independent horror film. All right, his credibility was evaluated following the surprise financial and critical success of The Terminator in late 1984. So basically, that's pretty much what gave him the job. Is when Terminator was a big deal. Because originally they're just going to use him to write Alien 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he wanted to do both. He wanted to write it and direct it. And they were like, we don't know about that. But you did do that Terminator movie. That was pretty good. So maybe we'll just give it to you. All right? That's basically how it went.
Exactly.
By the way, they were always calling it just Alien 2. But apparently how it became Aliens was when he would draw on his board and his paper, he would always put aliens and then have the S as a money side. And they just kept it as aliens. Yeah. So I was like, all right.
Perfect.
All right. So let's see. So Ridley Scott, all right, had, I guess he said, and, hold on a second. So Cameron Associates tried to persuade him to reject the offer, believing anything good about the film would be a tribute to Alien director Ridley Scott and anything negative to Cameron. So I guess while he was making this, he was trying to make it like a, passion project, but they're like, okay, well, if it works out really well, they're just like, well, the first one with Scott set you up for success. But if it sucks, they're going to be a lot like, that fucking guy. The first one was better, brother. Did you even read the book?
Of course. If it's a success, they're going to take credit for it. And if it fails, they're going to say it's Cameron's fault.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes. So Scott said he never offered the chance to direct the sequel. Ridley Scott said, all right, possibly because he was difficult to work with on the original. All right. I think he was also filming I think he was also filming something else at this time. Cameron noted that the title of the film implied the increased threat and indication that the movie was a sequel. All right. Cameron also wanted his collaborative partner and girlfriend, Glenn Anna Herb, to serve as the producer, but Fox did not take the request seriously, believing that she could not stand up to Cameron, all right, who believed she was the only person who would. Herb had several industry associates contact Fox executives to convince them that she was a legit producer.
Yep, and she became his producer for years and years after this.
Yep. Let's see what else we got to find. The final script was received by Fox executives, including Chairman Barry Diller. Who did he ever beat?
Nobody.
We're concerned about the budget, of course. For estimate the cost is close to $35 million, but Heard said it would be closer to $15.5 million. There you go. That's like half of it, I guess. Diller offered $12 million, promoting Cameron and Herb to quit. Okay. Gordon negotiated with Diller until he relented and Cameron and Herb returned. In April 1985, conflict turned to the cast. Fox did not want Weaver to return because they expected her to demand a high salary, which she did, which we'll talk about here in a second.
Yeah.
Cameron and Herb were interested in Weaver return as a solo star. Fox refused, saying they would damage the studio's negotiation power with Weaver's agent. Cameron and Herb again let the project marrying and going on a honeymoon. When they returned, the Aliens project was ready to move forward. Cameron credited Gordon with Aliens being greenlit. All right, so basically Gordon's the one that made it through. And the one about Sigourney Weaver was they approached, obviously, since this the first Alien movies came out, she was more high demand. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I believe she was in that Ghostbuster movie. Remember that?
Well, yeah, she was in. Yeah, she had been in Ghostbusters, and she developed a pretty big career by the time, or in the meantime, since Alien had come out. Yeah,
so they really wanted her to come back because you got to keep the main star alive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they made her an offer and she agreed, but she had some demands that were not really met. And good thing James Cameron convinced her to switch. So apparently her demands were, you're going to love these, Alison. So at about a movie with soldiers fighting aliens, she didn't want any guns.
Okay.
Because that
would have been weird.
She was a big anti-gun person. All right.
Okay.
I hope this is real because this is fantastic. And apparently it happened in one of the other films. I can't remember. I don't remember everything off my top of my head when it comes to Alien franchised. But she's all like, listen, brother, I need to have sex with the alien. It only makes sense. What is with the 80s?
So that was her idea.
That was her idea. What was with the 80s and all these women wanted to fuck these monsters, bro?
I don't know. Something
like
in
every
the
movie,
Coke,
every fucking movie we did this month, everybody was fucking a monster.
Yeah.
And it was about
Except
to be in here.
Movie.
Yeah, because he cut that shit out. He's like, I'm not doing that.
No.
So basically,
I already did that in Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah, exactly. The story is that they offered her $1 million, the highest salary for somebody, because she only made about $35,000 off the first one. So they offered her $1 million. She took it, and she was like, "All right, I can do whatever now. I'll cut my hair. All right." So
my understanding is that's what she ended up getting.
Yeah, $1 million.
At first, they offered her less money than like everyone else in the cast.
Yeah.
Like even the regular Space Marines were making more money than her. Like the guy that played Hicks and all those people were making more money than her, and she walked away from it. And then Cameron says then he went home and he rewrote a script without her in it. And then she got the money she wanted and came back.
Yeah.
But he says now that he never intended to do that. Like he says now that he never intended to film it without her.
Yeah.
But he did, at the time rewrite a script without Ripley in it.
Yeah. Because the negotiations at the time with her were taking forever. You know what I mean? Because all those demands and her career and stuff like that. So, of course, she came back for all the other fucking ones.
Yeah, she just kept coming back, and
she eventually
will again.
She eventually got the fuck that alien, so that's good.
Finally got that. I guess that was in the contract for that.
There you go. All right. So it says Alien was Reiser's first major theatrical role, following small parts in films like Beverly Hills Cop. The Colonial Marines cast featured a mix of British and American actors who underwent 3 weeks of intensive training with the British Special Air Forces. There you go. Vietnam War veteran Al Matthews helped to train the actors, teaching them how to handle firearms properly because their blanks were still hazardous. Okay. It says Vicus was Goldstein's first feature film role. She credited her physique to spending hours at the gym while unemployed, gaining 10 pounds at Cameron's request. All right. So Goldstein wore dark contact lenses and underwent an hour of makeup to cover her freckles and darken her white skin to portray a more Hispanic-style character. She studied Mexican-American gang interviews to develop her demeanor and accent. All right. Rico Frost, was committed to Full Metal Jacket. Another fucking great movie.
Another great film.
1980. We might have to do that. It's not really a horror movie, but it's fucking great.
No, there's plenty of horror stuff in it, though.
Whose filming schedule overlapped for a week with Aliens. Although Cameron offered to let Ross join the film later, Ross was concerned that Stanley Kubrick's project often overran and adopt for Aliens instead. There you go. He could have been in Full Metal Jacket and Aliens, but he was worried about the scheduling conflict, which, there you go.
So he dropped that to be in. I would say Aliens is the bigger movie, though.
I'd probably say so, yeah. I mean, it's more recognizable. I mean, that's Full Metal Jacket's a classic, but it's a little different. It's just different. Different genres. Ralston misled the filmmakers to get his part. He had finished filming Revolution and implied he was its most prominent actor after Al Pacino.
Wow.
Yeah, brother.
Well, that wasn't exactly true, though.
Yeah, you ever seen Cruising, brother? Look, I'm better than that. All right. Shout out to Al Pacino and Cruising. You can check that on the archives. What an episode that was.
That was a great episode. Yeah, that was fun.
I will never forget the yellow bandana. All right. Yes. All right. So was William Hoop was cast as Hudson before Cameron and Hurt decided to take the character into a different direction. Kathleen D. Scott was an inspired singer when she was cast. Colette Hiller Farrell was upset she had to cut her hair short for the role because she was getting married shortly afterwards, and made the filmmakers buy her a long blonde wig. There you go. Trevor Steadman Wisbrokesy was a stuntman rather than an actor. In Aliens was Daniel Kish, Spooky Mirror debut film role. He offered Cameron his coat if he got the part and also auditioned for Hudson. The actor stayed at the Holiday Inn in Langley, Berkshire during filming. There you go. So, a couple kind of fun stuff right here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And when they originally, Stephen Lang was cast as the role of Hicks.
Yeah.
Or he auditioned for Hicks, but they picked James Remar instead. Stephen Lang would go on to be an Avatar. He plays the colonel that's in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
An Avatar, but he was originally going to be Hicks, but they picked James Remar instead. And then they fired James Remar because he got arrested for drug possession.
There you go. Oops.
And then that's how they end up with Michael Biehn, who is in the movie now.
There you go.
So I guess like the having the cocaine was not a big deal, but being arrested for it was.
Yeah, exactly. You can have it, brother. Just don't get caught, man. Come on now.
Right. Exactly. That's how it works.
So some post-production notes that are fun. Post-production game in late April of 1986, several scenes were removed from Aliens theatrical release. So here's the big thing. We have two versions of the film. There's the theatrical release, and then there's the extended version. So apparently at the time, this was kind of new, where they would make a director's cut. You know, unlike nowadays where you get director's cuts all the fucking time with shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Back in the day, they didn't really do too much of that. But I guess they wanted to do this because they were going to be showing some of it on CBS or something like that later on in a couple years, I heard. So they basically, the extended version is about 15, 17 minutes longer. Yeah. And it has to deal a little bit more with Ripley and her family and showing like some more of the environmental stuff of how she was trying to cope with the new world that she was in. But it's also the extended version got a little bit more praise by everybody, especially James Cameron himself. He said he prefers that film to the theatrical film because it gives a more of a roller coaster of like, you know, depression during the whole time. Right. Yeah. So the original director's cut, the one he prefers, came out in like 1990. Yeah, that's when we finally saw it. Yeah. But that was, I'm pretty sure that was, from what I'd read somewhere, that was his original cut. Yeah. Like that was his original idea. But back then in 1986, multiplexes weren't a big thing yet. So a lot of movie theaters had 2 screens, and, you know, like 6 screens was a lot at the time. So they were concerned, the film company was concerned that the running time would make it to where they couldn't show it enough times to make money. So they needed it to be shorter. Yeah. So that's why they cut it down to the theatrical version. Yeah. But his original vision was going to be the director's cut the entire time. Yeah. Which is a little bit better. I mean, it does have all that background about Ripley and her family, and it has more scenes of the ship. Yeah. Or not the ship, but where the aliens are. Yeah. You know, so it's more atmospheric too. That's what the full thing says over here. Post-production began in late April. Scenes were removed from Aliens theatrical release, including Ripley learning about her daughter's death. All right. Which I think they wanted to keep that out because didn't they bring her daughter back for something in the sequels or no? I can't remember. No. Okay. I don't think so. I know that was a big one that Fox wanted to take out just in case, I think. And cocooned Burke begging for her death. All right. That's the 2 ones that got cut out. Fox and Hurd suggested removing a long opening scene detailing the lives of the colonists. Newton's family discovered the derelict alien ship and her follower being attacked by a facehugger because it ruined the pacing and sense of mystery. 2 scenes with James Remar as Hicks, shown from the back, were used in the film. Ray Lovejoy, great name, was responsible for editing the final 137 minutes cut of Aliens. Fox wanted the film to be under 2 hours so it could be shown more per day in theaters. All right. Got to keep it at that 2 hour limit, brother. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can show it an extra time. Bob and Johnny have shit to do afterwards. All right. I wonder if Tony Khan would ever take that advice. Probably not. Probably not. He's not going to shorten anything with his 5-hour pay-per-views. So Fox production president Scott Rudin flew to England to ask Cameron and Hurd if they could cut another 12 minutes, but Cameron was concerned further cuts would make it nonsensical, and Rudin, he relucted. So obviously there's a shit ton more about this film. Like I said, there's a 5-hour documentary. Exactly. We don't have that. Which is really good if you guys want to watch it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. We can't do that here on the Retro Blood because, you know, we can't. But, you know, I think you guys got pretty much gist of the film, of why it was made and everything. And obviously this one would become out to be a huge success. Just like how the first one was copied. You know, this film right here I felt like it was copied too, especially if you're looking for like the ultimate action space film. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It definitely hits that category for sure. So,
for sure.
But everybody, I say let's get into it. Let's get into the full breakdown of Aliens.
Yeah, let's do it.
Burke, you're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out. That's the plan.
All right, people, on the ready line. Are you ready? Yeah! Are you ready? Yeah! Ready? Get down the line! Get on the ready line! If you like up here. Keep back, don't scare. Movement. Talk to me, Hudson.
I got signals. I got readings in front and behind.
There's nothing back here.
Look, I'm telling you, there's something moving here. It ain't us.
Get them out of there!
They cut the power. How did they cut the power, man? They're animals.
There's movement all over the place.
5 meters, man. 4.
Aliens. This time, it's war.
All right. So we start off in some James Cameron style deep space. You notice all his intros are kind of like the same? Yeah.
They are kind of similar.
I like it though. Very slow pace, setting up the mood. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So we find a space cruiser shuttle where we have Ellen Ripley, and she has been in cryostasis. Did I say that right? Cryostasis. All right.
Yeah.
For the
Cryostasis.
last 57 years. So she missed all of Romulus. She missed all of it, bro. You know, Alien versus Predator. She missed all of it. All right. Well,
She was asleep during that whole time.
I know. Somebody got to get her up to speed on this shit. Okay. All right.
I know. They should have her show up in one of those new Predator movies. And she's like, "What is this?"
Yeah. What's this?
But anyway.
So after destroying her ship, the Nostromo? All right.
Nostromo.
To kill the alien creature that slaughtered her crew. Ripley is debriefed by her Wayland Yamada Corporation employees who doubt her claim by alien eggs in a derelict ship on the planet Examoon LV-426. Because she was in that, she was in the briefing and everything, and she was talking about how dangerous this place is, and they're like, well, we didn't see anything on the radar scan. It's just like, no, there's eggs on that fucking planet that are gonna like kill people. And they're like, we've been having people mine there for years, brother. Everything's fine. All right.
That is weird, right?
Yeah.
So, like, they've been there for years, but they never found any of these things. But I guess if we turn out and they're just got that they actually did, but
Yeah, so pretty much they've been dead on that planet for years. They're just trying to cover it up, basically. All right.
Right.
All right. So after, so now they're having some of the contact now is lost on the colony. Gee, I wonder why. You think David was over here, or was that not even thought of yet? I'm stuck at the alien timeline. I know there's a timeline out there.
I was trying to think about that. I was
there
like,
has
when
to be,
does that happen?
There has to be some
It's
sort of like
before
alien,
this, right?
Fuck, I guess. There's like some sort of like, there has to be some nerd out there that went over the fucking complete alien timeline. All right, but I believe the David stuff happened before the first Alien.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Prometheus for sure did, and I'm pretty sure every alien movie they've had, except for Romulus,
Yeah, that was in the middle.
Takes place before the first Alien movie.
Yeah.
And Romulus is kind of between these two movies, because in that movie they cut out or they find the alien that she froze or she sent out into space.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Spoilers, everybody. Screw you all.
Spoiler. If you haven't seen Romulus, then that's what happens.
That's what we do over here. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't tell you about the big spoiler of that movie, though. You have to watch it. I actually like that movie.
You need to watch it. I thought it was good too.
Okay. So we're meeting Carter Burke, and Colonial Marine Lieutenant Gorman asked Ripley to accompany them to investigate the Colonial 47426 planet.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. All right? Because she's still traumatized by her alien encounter. She keeps having dreams of her being pregnant with the little popper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The little face hugger.
Yeah. The chase burster. Yeah. That comes out of her chest.
Yeah. So she agreed. She finally agrees on the condition that they would exterminate the creatures. All right?
Yep. If they're going to kill them all.
Yeah, and they all agreed. He's like, I'm a company man. I'll agree with you. All right, don't worry about it. So Ripley meets the Colonial Marines aboard the spaceship Sakula, but she's rather concerned about one Bishop and the great actor who is behind Bishop, one Lance. What's his name? Lance what?
Lance Henriksen.
Hendricks. Mr. Pumpkinhead himself. God, he was so good.
Great actor, one of the best of all time.
The only thing about he didn't really do a whole lot in this movie. He was basically like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator from number 2. He was the good robot.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Even though we were supposed to believe maybe he was the swerve one, the bad robot, but he turned out being good. You know what I mean? So if you look at it, Alien and Aliens does parallel Terminator and Terminator 2 in a way. You know what I mean?
That's true. I never thought about that.
They do a lot because their first Terminator is a little bit more slow paced. We only have one. You know what I mean? Bad little Terminator out there. You know what I mean? Our Schwarzenegger walk around naked, get in his jacket and shit. Very slow pace. Love story. And then we have Terminator 2, where we have him as a good guy. And then we have the T-1000. All right? Battling it out with some bunch of crazy shit going on. More action in that one, basically. So, they're very similar.
And I was going to say, I also wonder, like, you know, part of the drama of the movie is that Ripley doesn't trust Bishop because he's an android, or as he prefers to be called, an artificial human.
Yes.
But in the first movie, when Ian Holm tries to kill her, right? So the big swerve of the first movie was that we didn't know Ian Holm was an android.
Yes.
The audience didn't. But she also acts like she's surprised when it happens, right? Yeah. So was that android potentially the only one she'd ever encountered, and that's why she doesn't like any androids?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Because it kind of seems like, I'm trying to think of a modern day example that's not AI, because nobody likes AI. But like, you know, like if somebody were killed in a car accident, you know, would you hate every car because this one car, you were in an accident with one car? You know what I mean? Well, I guess some people do that, but like, it just seems weird that if androids are like a significant part of their society, that she would just be like, fuck androids from now on, even though one did try to kill her. So I could see how that could be a problem, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, the problem is, you got to remember, man, like, she was in cryo chamber sleep for like 57 years. Yeah. Like, her trauma is still not over yet.
Well, that's true. It's like yesterday for her.
And the Bishop did say, like, oh yeah, that style motto that Ash was, those were known to go rogue. I could physically not go rogue.
Right. I can't kill or cause to be killed.
Remember, he did the little knife thing. Remember that knife thing they did? There you go. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I could think of. But yeah, you know, she's just showing past drama. She's trying to watch out for, you know.
Plus, it sets up the thing at the end where she thinks he doesn't show up.
Yeah, there you go. So Doorship lands. We'll get to in a minute. So the dropship lands the crew on LV-426, where they find the battle rage colony and 2 live alien face huggers in containment. tanks. I thought that scene was pretty cool. Something out like a video game. You know what I mean?
That was awesome. Yes.
So the only colonized found is a traumatized young girl named Newitt. All right, the team locates the other colony's signals beneath the fusion power atmosphere processing station and heads into their location. All right, and I did like it where they were like looking through there, and they were they're like searching all around. Obviously they find a couple of the cocoons and stuff in there, and they're going down to the atmosphere place where they feel like most of the aliens are. All right, in that little corridor covered in alien, slime. And then, like, they're looking, and then Ripley tells the commander guy, like, isn't this, like, if they shoot, the whole place will blow up? The guy's like, fuck. You're right.
You're right.
It's like, come on, commander. All right. But it was said that the leader, the Wayland Corporation guy, he did... it was implied that he didn't get the smartest Marines. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to get like less of them because he wanted to take over and do more experiments than have them all wipe them all out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And then at this point, he tells them all that they have to the Hicks has to collect all their magazines.
Yep.
But he doesn't tell them why.
They don't tell them why. Yep.
So therefore, they still keep a couple just in case, to make sure things go wrong later on.
So, let's see. So at the station center, the Marines discovered open eggs. All right. Dead face huggers are everywhere. A cocoon colonist serving as an incubator for the alien. All right. The Marine kills a new, and then, because like, remember we had that colonist guy, and he was all like, kill me. And then the thing burst out of him. All right. And then they kill the little one. So that happens there. All right. And then they're now, when this happens, though, the aliens start ambushing the Marines. All right. Killing or capturing many of them. When the inexperienced Gorman panics, man, he was panicking hard. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that they can't use the weapons.
Right.
They got all these aliens facing them, man. Some of them are using fire, and some of them are just like saying "fuck it," shooting it anyway because they kept their guns. This guy was sweating some bullets. He was all like, "Command, come in." Oh boy.
But he was also the one that didn't really have any experience either.
Yeah, exactly. So
like he'd never been deployed before. So
now Ripley, she now assumes command and rams their armored personal carrier into the nest to rescue Corporal Dan Hicks and Private Hudson and Vacquez. All right. Most of the other ones got either burned to death by the fire or they got killed by the alien, and then most of them got killed by the alien's acid, which was weird because that did not come up later, which is weird.
It is kind of weird how they forget about it at the end of this movie.
Yeah, because I when it was Ripley and the girl, the little girl, she was shooting all these fucking aliens and blowing up, and none of the acid got on her at all.
Right.
Yeah.
But also in the first, if you remember correct, in the first movie, the acid was so corrosive that it would eat through the ship.
Yeah.
Remember, they had like just a drop of it would eat through all the floors of the ship, and they thought it was going to actually go through the hull of the ship.
Yeah.
But now it is corrosive, but not as corrosive as it was.
Apparently. They're kind of just using the acid like when they want to.
Right. Yeah.
So Hicks orders the drop ship to recover the survivors, but stowaway alien kills the pilot. All right. Causing the drop ship to crash into the station. All right. And this is when I believe it was Hudson saying, "We're all fucking doomed. We're doomed." Oh my God, we're fucked.
Bill Paxton's fantastic.
Yeah. All right, so now, the survivors they try to barricade themselves inside the facility. All right. So now Ripley discovers through her advanced networking and training,
I suppose. Sure.
That Burke ordered the colonists to investigate the derelict spaceship containing the alien eggs intending to profit by recovering them for biological weapons research. Maybe he works for Umbrella.
Maybe.
Oh wait, that's a different service.
It's a different service, but yeah, he lied to her again, and they were actually going to try to bring the aliens home when she said that if they bring them back to the Earth, that they will kill everybody on the planet.
Yes, yeah, because it's most of these alien movies go that way. There's always one person like, well, why don't we keep it and use it for shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, it's usually the corporation that wants to do that.
Yeah.
Wayland Utani.
So now, before she can expose Bert, all right, Bishop reports that the dropship crash damaged the power's plant's cooling system, and now it will soon overheat and explode, destroying the colony. So they are fucked. Bishop volunteers. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so that gives you your time limit, right?
Yeah.
So this is like, watching this movie is like script writing 101. Like, this is how do you make a suspenseful script? Just make it like this movie. So now he creates the idea that this thing is going to blow up. So now they only have a certain amount of time to get out of there before they all die.
And they know there's a threat because they've encountered the aliens. They're not exactly sure how many they are. But they do have the pick up the alien. They eventually do figure out how to pick up the alien's trace. All right.
Yes. They do know there's a lot of them, though, because they see them coming from the ceiling.
So Bishop volunteers to travel to the colony transmitter and remotely pilot the remaining dropship to the surface. Asleep in the medical lab, Ripley and Newitt awaken to find themselves trapped with the two released facehuggers.
Yes.
Ripley triggers a fire alarm to alert the Marines who rescue them and kill the creatures. I always like the facehugger scenes. Those are always those are the most suspenseful ones in the film.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think it would be that way, right? You would think that the scenes with the full-grown alien would be scarier, but it's like those little facehuggers can be anywhere and you don't know where they are, and they're just like looking around. Very suspenseful.
So now Ripley is just like, I bet it was that fucking Bert guy who unleashed these fucking facehuggers on us.
Probably.
Fucking robot dick. All right, go back to your robot dick land. So she accused Bert of releasing the facehuggers to implant her and Newitt with alien embryos to smuggle them through Earth's quarantine. All right? I know your powers, or your deal. So now the power is suddenly cut and aliens attack through the ceiling. That's when we had that cool ceiling scene.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And because the guy was looking on the thing, he's like, yeah, they're here. I don't know what the fuck they are. They're looking at them. And then the guy looks up in the ceiling, and you can see like all of them.
And then it just drops down.
They all just drop down and start fighting.
Fucking cool.
Yeah. So during all this flight, the aliens kill Bert, all right, because he tried to lock them into the rooms.
Yeah.
They got Hudson, and they injured Hicks. All right. The coroner, Gorman, and Vasquez sacrificed themselves to avoid capture. They all died pretty crazy in this one. So I think the Vasquez one, she got most of the acid put on her leg and stuff. That's how she got her. So separated from Ripley and taken by the creatures, Ripley takes Hicks to the dropship but refuses to abandon Newitt and arms herself before descending into the processing station hive alone to rescue. All right. So she's now being badass Ripley right here, trying to arm herself and go find the kid when nobody else wanted to go help. Right?
Exactly.
And
we get the training. As I say, we explained that by getting a training scene earlier in the movie where Hicks teaches her how to shoot the machine guns.
Yeah, the machine guns. Yes.
Yeah.
During her escape, they encountered Alien Queen and missed dozens of eggs. So what'd you feel about the Alien Queen being so early on in the franchise?
In the franchise, I mean, I think it's fine because you got to consider that they didn't know if there would ever be another movie, but like you have to find some way to top the last Alien, and originally they were just going to do more Aliens, which is why it's called Aliens. But the Queen kind of looked cool. Like it's not my favorite part of the movie, but I do like the idea of the Queen and how, especially the way it's presented here, because the Queen's kind of like asleep or whatever. Yeah. She's like dormant, and then they see her. And then they're like, shit, what are we going to do? And then she starts to wake up. And then you see how big she is. That looked fucking awesome.
Yeah. I always thought it was pretty interesting. Because, I mean, it's like we overloaded it with way more than the first one, like everything. And I feel like every Alien movie on top of that has been trying to top it. You know what I mean?
But you can't. You can't top this.
Yeah. There were, because we have all like these new style aliens they're trying to do through the different movies and stuff. But it was pretty cool seeing the Queen for the first time and laying all those eggs. So when one of the egg things open, Ripley starts burning the eggs and blows up the Queen's feeding tubes. Pursued by enraged Queen, Ripley and Newitt reach the dropship and escape with Bishop and unconscious Hicks moments before the station explodes. All right, consuming the colony in a nuclear blast. All right,
yeah,
all very
so
intense.
It should be over, right?
Good. Yep. So now they're aboard the Sulaco. They're all hanging out. You know what I mean? They're all
ready to go home.
Ready to go home. But kind of like in the first movie and a bunch of other ones, we're not done yet, brother. All
no.
Right? The Queen somehow
it's a false finish.
Was stowed away in the dropship's landing gear because it can just hide. And then it starts attacking the group. The first one it kills is Bishop, slices him in half. All right. Then it goes on to Newitt, tries to get her, but Ripley battles the creature using a exosuit. Perfect for video game action that we'll later be playing.
Yes. And they set that up perfectly at the beginning of the movie, too.
Perfect for toys. Perfect for video games. Perfect for everything. All right? And then they're fighting like it's some sort of like UFC match.
Yes.
All right? And they eventually get they eventually fall down into the cargo door or the airlock door. All right? And they open it up. All right? The alien's holding on to Ripley's leg, which I thought was kind of funny. And the girl was about to get sucked into space until the hero Bishop saved her. All right, because he's a good robot, not a bad one.
Yeah, because Bishop shows that he's truly a face.
Eventually, Ripley gets away from the alien. The alien queen falls into the space hub of nothingness. She gets out. She turns on the button. The airlock seals. Ripley and Hicks then enter to hypersleep for their return to Earth. So now she can go to number 3 and finally fuck that alien.
Yeah, finally.
And not everybody has been aliens.
Yeah.
Fun movie. I liked it. A lot different than the first one. More
it is a lot different.
Yeah.
Which one do you like better?
Man. I might have to go with the first one. Just because I like the slow, creepy nature of it. It's more of a horror film. This one is like, we're going to take an action sci-fi film and just throw a bunch of shit at you, brother. All right?
I agree. I mean, I love this movie, but I like the first one better. I like the idea that there's one alien that's stalking all of them, and you don't know where it is. I think that's great.
Yeah. Maybe later on in our series, we'll do like Alien 3, which I heard. I don't think that's a popular one. Is it the third one or the fourth one that's not popular? There's one of them. There's a couple out there. People are like,
I don't think 3 or 4. 3 or 4 are very popular.
Yeah.
3 had some issues with film company taking it over.
Yeah.
Because that was David Fincher's first movie, I believe.
Yeah.
And he doesn't recognize it now because basically his entire movie was changed. On the Blu-ray set, if you have it, the one that came out like 15 years ago, if you have that, there's a work print of his version on there that you can watch, and it is much better.
I actually do have that. All right.
Yeah, you should definitely watch it. It's very different, and it's a lot better, in my opinion.
Maybe we'll put that in the bucket list.
Yeah,
one of these days.
We'll get to it.
So, but everybody, thanks for joining us on this fantastic, long stretched out month of It Came From Outer Space. Part 3.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have to keep this on the rotation for next year. One of our favorite months to do. But the Retro Blood is coming back later this month. We'll probably have to do 2 episodes on a Saturday and Sunday probably. But we are going to be doing a first ever month because we're going to be talking about deadly animals.
Yes.
Of the 1980s. That's right. This ain't no Jason. This ain't no Freddy. This ain't no Chucky's. All right,
It's animals.
This is animals, brother. All right, the most deadliest creatures in the lands.
Yes,
right?
I've wanted to do this for a long time. I can't wait.
And the first movie we were doing is one alligators. Fuck yeah. Classic, which I recently bought the steelbook of, which is
steelbook for alligator.
Yes,
that's
amazing.
amazing.
I saw it when I was cruising at the Walmart. I was like, wait, aren't we going to be reviewing that? So I just fucking picked it up. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. This movie is a goddamn classic.
Right.
If you don't like alligator, you just don't like movies. We'll just put it that way.
So we'll be coming with you next, and then of course when we do that episode, we'll tell you about what is happening for the rest of that month as well too. So, but everybody, thanks for joining us here on this fantastic month on this fun episode. Alison, you got anything to end with us?
No, I was just going to say that we've talked about doing this movie for years, and we finally got around to it.
Yep,
I'm glad we did. I'd like to go back and do a Lights Out on Alien at some point if we ever have time to do Lights Outs again.
Yeah.
With our world traveling lately, it's been kind of hard to do the extra shows, but we'll see. We'll see if we can get that. But yeah, I'm glad we did this, and I can't wait for next year. I've already got some ideas, so
fantastic.
It's going to be awesome.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe here to the YouTubes. Check us out, Apple Podcast, Spotify, all your streaming.
Yep.
Like us on there, subscribe. Tell us we suck. Tell us we're great. We like everything.
Send suggestions.
Yeah, send suggestions. All good to go. J.H. Alison, James Kline. We'll see you all next week for alligators.
See you guys.